Guess what? The witch is back.
Which?
Of course, it's this witch. In case you haven't seen my earlier video I've done of this is Baba Lysaga Night Witch. For those who don't know what she does, she's a little different than her paper iteration because of Arena. They actually made her cost a little bit more, but they also made her body a little bit bigger too. She's a 4/4 human warlock for 2, a black and a green on Arena that says tap, sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If they were 3 or more card types among the sacrifice permanents, each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life, and you draw 3 cards. So that means if a creature has 2 types, such as artifact creature, enchantment creature, or creature land, there's 2 of your types already taken care of. And if by some chance you have an artifact creature land, well then there's all 3 in one sacrifice. Or you can just sacrifice 3 separate permanents of one of each type that you need to do. And you can do anything from planeswalkers, enchantments, artifacts, all that stuff can go. So the goal here is to use Baba's ability to draw into our good stuff, hit our opponents for 3 life a turn, and just kind of drain our way through things using aristocrat type effects. So let's take a look at the deck. Now this I have tried to make work multiple times in the last 6 to 8 months, and I have never been able to get it to work. For some reason, the deck just kind of stretches itself too thin, and I just couldn't get it to work. Well, today I kind of went back into it, started adding a bunch of stuff from the Brothers War and Dominaria United, and it actually came to life and actually worked out for us. So let's take a look and see what happens. First off, we have our protection column like I usually do. Your usual suspects are here. Swiftfoot Boots, Malakir Rebirth. We also have Snakeskin Veil and Wild Shape for giving us hexproof type abilities here on an instant speed. This is not supposed to be in this column. This is just like a sacrificial fodder piece. And then we also have Phyrexian Reclamation. So, if something dies, because we're feeding so much stuff into Bob and we're sacrificing to other things, that you need a way to get them back, and this is one of the ways we can do that, because you're gaining life off of Baba's activation anyway, so the 2 life isn't really that big of a deal. The other column next to it is our removal column. Bone Shards, Eaten Alive, Tear Asunder, Find Finality. Things that we can use to sweep up the board or to direct removal things. And then Find Finality has the option of actually getting stuff back if we want to. So like if we sacrifice 2 creatures to something, later on we can get them back. Languish sweeps the board. Binding the Old Gods removes stuff and ramps us a little bit. Gear Hulk actually serves a couple of purposes here. It's a removal spell, but it also serves as an artifact creature that we can then sacrifice to Baba later to get 2 of our creature types out. And then we have Casualties of War, which is just a great card in the Golgari color spectrum, where we can just blow up a bunch of their stuff and kind of swing the game back in our direction. And then we have the Meathook Massacre, which doubles up as removal and an artifact that then an enchantment that we can then sacrifice to Baba later. And then this column is our mana fixing. We got Llanowar Loam Speaker, which also serves another purpose of being a way to animate a land into a 3/3, so then you have a creature land to sacrifice. Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart. We have Ornithopter of Paradise, which again, we have an artifact creature that then also helps us with our mana. And then once it's past its prime, we don't need it anymore. You sack it to Baba and get 2 of your types out of the way. Cultivate and Harrow as usual. Skyclave Relic just to give us some mana, and if we get into a late game, you can kick it and get a bunch of copies of it. And then Solemn Simulacrum. It's an artifact creature that if you sacrifice it, we get to draw a card off of it. So, if you sacrifice it as a part of a Baba stack up, you're going to get 4 cards. And then we have what I call the sacrificial fodder. It's okay to get rid of it type category. Clay Revenant, it's a card that you can get it back from your graveyard, you can sack it over and over, and it's a dual type card being an artifact creature. Gutter Bones, you can get them back as well. Haywire Might, artifact creature, and it doubles up as a removal spell out of non-creature artifacts or non-creature enchantments, so you can kind of blow stuff up at will. Gingerbrute, creature enchantment or artifact creature, and then you can also gain life off of it if you need to. Razorlash Transmogrant. I just added this to the deck. I saw it and I'm like, you know what? This is not like the best card in the world, but it does do some work for us. It's 3/1 for 2. and you can get it back from your graveyard. And if you're just coming up against somebody who's like a 5-color deck or something like that, this thing can come out of the graveyard for 2 black mana, and you just keep cycling it over and over and over again with Baba. Tenacious Underdog, you can blitz it back out, swing with it, and if they don't block, you get the free damage, and then you can sacrifice it to Baba as a creature. Black Market Connections, you can kind of run this to kind of get the effects off of it, and if you can't really stand to pay the life anymore to it, sack it to Baba and get rid of it. Same thing with Treacherous Blessing. Usually this thing's kind of a deterrent. You play it, you draw the 3 cards, but then it starts pinging you for everything you play after it. Well, in this case, you just get rid of it with Baba's sacrifice trigger, and it doesn't matter anymore. Ebon Death, he's a recyclable sacrifice thing. You can flash him in, sack it to Baba. Wormcoil Engine, another artifact creature for us. But the cool part here is it leaves 2 more artifact creatures behind in order for us to have more things to throw into the meat grinder. We have Phyrexian Fleshgorger, another artifact creature, but it also has a good way of getting us life. It's just a good threat, especially if you can get it out for the full cost. It's just a good card. And then Hangerback Walker. This card can put in some work. If you can get it up high enough, 2, 3, 4 counters on it, you can sacrifice this to Baba, get 2 of the 3 types out of the way, and then you get a bunch more to sacrifice later, or use as chump blockers or attackers or whatever you need at the time. And then this column next to it is kind of working hand in hand with the column we just talked about. It's stuff that generates 2 or more permanent types as you put them out. So we have Squirrel Sanctuary, an enchantment, and a creature token. We can sacrifice both to get 2 things out of the way. Bloodcaster, as your other stuff gets sacrificed or itself gets sacrificed or dies in combat, you get a blood token, which is an artifact, so it generates 2 things. Galagreeters, another creature enters the battlefield under your control. You can create a treasure token giving you 2 things, and then it has the utility of also giving you life or getting bigger. Prosperous Innkeeper, creature, generates an artifact. Ranger class, creature, enchantment. Sanguine Brushstroke, a creature, an enchantment, and an artifact. This thing gives you all 3. Tireless Provisioner, every time you play a land, you're going to get your land into play, you'll have the Provisioner, and you can get a food or a treasure token. Grim Hireling, every time your stuff hits, you get 2 treasure tokens, and you can use it as removal, so it generates a couple of things off of it. Nissa here, she can actually animate our lands, turn them into land creatures, and then you can sacrifice those, and we can use her -5 to get stuff back if necessary. Ashaya turns all of our creatures into lands so that we have dual typing on everything. Nissa Who Shakes the World makes land creatures out of our lands. And then we also have Awaken the Woods from Brothers War. Create X11 Forest Dryad land creature tokens. So you're going to get more land token or land creatures coming out to sacrifice into Baba. Plus, it also gives you extra creatures that when they die to some of our effects for the aristocrat theme of the blood artist and whatnot, it's going to deal more damage. Speaking of which, we have the column which is kind of like the synergy / good stuff. We have Blood Artist. Aforementioned stuff dies, you get to do more damage. So like if you sacrifice a creature and then you go through, you're at least getting 1 extra damage out of the Blood Artist. Same thing with Bastion of Remembrance down here a little further down the list. We have Deadly Dispute in the good stuff here because we're going to be sacrificing stuff. It generates an extra thing for us to sacrifice, and we get cards out of it. Liquid Metal Coating. Now this thing is kind of interesting, and it was just put out in the Brothers War. We can turn stuff into artifacts. So if you have a creature land sitting there, you can make it into an artifact, and you get all 3 types, and you throw it into Baba's pot, and you're off to the races. You get 3 things for the price of 1 sacrifice. It's just all around good thing to mess around with. Vetoed Thorn of the Duskrows. Whenever you gain life, your opponent loses that much life. So what we're doing here is we're gaining 3 off of Baba. They're losing 3, and they're going to lose another 3 because you gain 3. So you're doing 6 damage to their face every Baba activation that you feed 3 different permanent types into it. So this just synergizes so well with what we got going on. Plus we have a little ancillary life gain going on. So this thing can do a lot of work for us. We have Ramonatic Excavator. We're sacrificing our lands, and we need to get them back because eventually you're going to run out of resources if you just keep tossing them into Baba. Crucible of Worlds, same thing. Get them back out of your graveyard and keep going. Gloomstrieger, get stuff back out of your graveyard, recast it, replay it if it's a land, whatever. You just got to keep things churning along. Timeless Witness, I almost said Eternal. Same thing, get a permanent back from your graveyard, or sometimes a spell in her case. And you can do it twice because you can eternalize her out of the graveyard. So then you can keep things going. Erebos the Bleak Hearted, we're sacrificing so many creatures, then you're just going to be able to pay the 2 life, get the extra card, and then you're gaining the life back with Baba's effect anyways. Gixian Puppeteer, whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2, you gain 2. Well, if you're activating Baba, you're going to go ahead and get, an extra set of card draw triggers off of it. And if it dies, you can start getting some of your little fodder stuff back into the graveyard as well. Witch of the Moors. This thing actually synergizes pretty well here. It's a 4/4 with Death Touch that says at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life, each opponent sacks a creature and you get to put one back from your graveyard into your hand. So, like, if you sacrifice something, activate Baba, drain them, and gain life, this is going to trigger, make them lose a creature, and then you get your sacrifice creature back from the graveyard to replay the next turn. We also have Marionette Master here. Fabricate 3, which means you can either put 3 counters on it or create 3 servo tokens. And whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the Marionette Master's power. So you can front load her with counters and make her into a 4/6, excuse me. And then every artifact that you sacrifice to Baba is going to deal an additional 4 damage. Or you just, put out some extra servo tokens that gives you extra artifact creatures to sacrifice, and then she'll do 1 extra damage, just like, your run-of-the-mill Blood Artist. Either way, you're getting a little bit of extra ping power out of the Marionette Master. And then the last regular card in the deck is Shieldred Whispering One. I can't resist, being able to use some of my Phyrexian Praetors here. And in this case, we're using the OG Shieldred. 6/6 Swamp Walk. They sacrifice on their turn. We get something back on our turn, because we're losing our stuff left, right, and center trying to keep Baba fed, and in this case, we're able to get those sacrifices back onto the battlefield and do it all over again. And unless they have a way to remove Shieldred most of the time, that's game over if she lands. And then we have just our usual black-green mana base here. I have Hive of the Eye Tyrant and Lair of the Hydra in here because you can animate them into creature lands to sacrifice. Castle Lockthwain to help draw cards later, Takenuma to help get stuff back, Besaju to get blow up stuff if we need to. All of your black and green land base, Woodland Cemetery, Temple of Malady, Overgrown Cemetery or Tomb, Llanowar Waste, the lands basically. And then here's like our offbeat stuff. We have the Command Tower, Forsaken Crossroads. I have Mana Confluence in here to fix color, Plaza of Heroes to help protect Baba, and then we have what I would consider stuff that I wouldn't normally use in a deck. We have Blink Moth Nexus. You can pay 1, and this becomes an artifact creature land, because it becomes an artifact creature that is a land already. So you can just animate it, toss it into Baba, and then if you have something like the Ramonek Excavator or the Crucible Worlds out, you can replay it and just do that over and over and over again every turn. Darksteel Citadel, it's an artifact land. Well, if you can animate this with one of the Nisses, it's an artifact land creature. Same drill. I also have a copy of, Darkmoss Bridge. Same thing. Animate it, it becomes a creature land, and you can sacrifice it. Mishra's Foundry, same thing. Pay, it becomes a 2/2 artifact creature land. Sacrifice it. Treasure Vault, it's an artifact land, and you can create a bunch of treasures off of it, or you can just toss it in, and it's 2 types of things for Baba to eat, and then you get your effects off of it. I had a lot of fun playing this deck today. I was super surprised because I've had such bad luck with it in the past. If you like what you see here, please give it a try. This has been a ton of fun, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Alela, Artful, Provocateur. So I've decided to dig out our Baba Lysaga deck. I have yet to make this thing work in Historic Brawl, so we're about to see what happens. I've actually added a few new cards to it from the last couple of sets, and we'll see if that makes a difference or not. So I'm going to lead with the Swamp, so I can play the Phyrexian Reclamation, and then I'll do the Lair, and then probably drop the Transmogrant. We'll see. Transmogrant was one of the new cards I added to the deck, just as a reusable artifact creature to throw into the bin with Baba, so we'll see what happens there. and did not draw land. Not good. Let's just go ahead and do Gutter Bones. And we'll swing. I'll just keep Wild Shape available if I need to protect something from an exile spell or something of that variety. Skybonder, okay. No big deal. I can more than willingly slam both these things into it. Alright. There's a Nexus. That gives us the big piece of the puzzle. Let's go ahead. I almost think I need to get rid of that Skybonder. Yeah, I'm going to do that, I think. Let's go ahead and sack a creature. We'll get rid of that. Auto pay. Your bones can go. Just being able to target things without worrying about that ward ability is a lot cleaner to deal with. Alright, there's Alela. Alright, we've got the land. Now comes the question, do I play Baba and hopefully don't get blown out, or do I play the Gixian Puppeteer? We're going to try this, because this is what we came to play. And I'm not going to swing into that, because it's just pointless. So, and I don't see them wiping the board just yet. Yeah. That's fine. Staggering Insight, alright. Now we need a board wipe because damn, they are loading up for bear over there. Let's go ahead and get the Tireless Provisioner down. We'll play a Treasure Ball, get a treasure off of it. We're going to... We can't attack because that's just stupid. But let's go ahead and play Veto. And no attacks. And this is any point. So I did remember if they changed it in Alchemy or not to be a sorcery speed thing. It's not. But if we don't draw into a board wipe real soon, it's not gonna matter. Like, what I really want is my it's a Ritual Soot. Alright. Because we got the Fairy Brigade over there. 3, 4. Yeah, right there's 8 damage coming our way, 9 damage. So, yeah. I mean, we can do 6 to them with Baba. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate her, the Transmogrant, and the we'll do Lair. Those can go. That's still not an answer. Still not an answer. Let's go ahead. We can, let's see, we're at 16, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They need 14 in the air this coming turn. We're going to play the Gixian Puppeteer. And I'm going to play the Forest, which gives me another treasure token. And we're just going to sit on the protection spell because we need to. And we're going to pass. So... probably sack the Probably the Provisioner, now that I think about it. Oh. Well, aren't you just fancy pants? Alright, so we're going to activate this. We're going to sacrifice the treasure, a forest, and the Provisioner. So that'll give us, you know, a few triggers to work off of here. Resolve. That is a real pain in the butt, though. That means I'm not going to get the Gitaxian Puppeteer trigger. Pain. Alright. So that doesn't do me anything. I can't untap Lava and do much with it. We basically have a turn to come up with an answer, and then we're just dead. So, yeah. That's not an answer. Let's do... Let's tap this for... No. Tap this for a colorless. Activate the Nexus as itself. Activate Baba. Sacrifice a Nexus. That gives us all three types to do a hit with. Alright. Still not an answer. Let's do Swamp. We're gonna have to... do what? It doesn't do me any good. I'm gonna run out of mana before I can do anything. I can't use. This is, yeah, we're just screwed at this point. Yeah, nothing I can do about this. I mean, the deck was working well. It was doing what it's intended to do, and, you know, but there's just no way you can deal with that if you don't pull a board wipe. Renata. I've not seen her as a commander yet, so let's see how this goes. I mean, it's probably mono green little guys. At a guess. Sure, we'll try this. We got the Nexus in hand, which is good. I'm actually gonna play the Death Cap Glade to start, so I have access to black mana on turn 2 if I need it. There's no point in waiting until turn 3, because you never know if you top deck something that's gonna work with it. And we'll go ahead and play the Walker now. It's just as a 1/1. And if they want to blow it up, I get a Thopter. I mean, there's bigger, better artifacts in this deck for them to waste artifact removal on if they have it. So. Alright. Don't have a swamp, so this will come in tapped. Don't really have a drop that cares about that either, though, it being a 3-drop. So let's go ahead and drop this tapped. We're going to... I'm going to slow them down a little bit. We're going to discard. We're going to get rid of this. I'll discard the forest. Or no. Yeah, we'll discard the forest. I really don't want to discard this other stuff. We'll go ahead and attack for 1. And then we'll just wait. I could have put a counter on it and made it bigger, but there's no reason really to do that. Let's play the Nexus. Chapter 2 puts the counters on there, so there's no reason really to play this other than to untap a land and then put a counter on the Walker. Something I can block with it. I think at this point, I think I just want to get Baba down and get her through the summoning sickness. So we don't have to play around with that any longer. Now, they probably have a fight spell. That's probably where I'm overextending into it. So, I don't know, let's roll this again. have the 4/4 so they can do the attack stuff. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put some fodder out and get this down. And we'll just wait. Because if I want to, I can block and then put a counter on the hanger back and get 2 Thopters out of it. Alright, there's Renata. And a Mystic. Okay. I think I'm just gonna chump the 4/4 with this. So I want more than just pairings coming off the hanger back. Because I can get more mileage out of Bastion later. So we'll go ahead and activate this. And we'll just go ahead and go to my turn. I don't want to sacrifice anything right this minute. See, this is already... I don't care about them getting a gold token. That's like, whatever. We need the land. Because we're going to be sacrificing things here soon. No. Let's play the Witch of the Moors. And we'll go ahead. Now I think we'll do the hanger back and stuff on my turn so I can get stuff back. So let's activate this and we'll get rid of the Seiju as well. Alright. We'll just bring that back. It'll die. You know, doesn't matter. Well, no, it comes back to my hand. Sorry. I'm forgetting. It's not there's me into play. It's into the battlefield. It's one of those jumpstart cards they put in that I completely forgot about until I was messing around. So, they got power for days. They're going to fight. Oh, they're going to take... I thought they were going to kill Baba. Okay. That's fine. Probably thought that was too big of a value engine. We'll block here. I'm going to keep one back because I'm artifact creature alive so I can sacrifice it to Baba. Alright, let's see. Let's do Plaza with Blood Artist. And we'll do... Tap this for a colorless, tap this for black, I guess. We'll do hanger back as a 1/1 again. And we will pass the turn. I think. Yeah. We'll sit on that as a blocker. They're not gaining life, so there's no reason to swing in for 1 in the air. Alright. Joker Jelly. Oh, it's the one that copies. Okay. Uh-oh. That's a problem we're going to have to deal with. Alright, past the blockers. We're going to block this. We'll take the 5. And then we'll go ahead and activate Baba. We'll sack this. And we'll sack... We'll sack the Plaza, I think. Or no. We'll sack the Forest. The Plaza can do both right now. Okay, pass the damage, take the 5. It's my turn. Awaken the Woods is a good option here, because then we get some different creature types going on. We can do that for how much, though? 3 right now, if I play a land? Not exactly the most exciting amount of stuff. Brushstroke gives me another Blood Artist effect. I think that's where we're gonna go. I think we're gonna drop this, and we're gonna drop the Brushstroke to get another effect on the board, just so we can try to drain them out. And just to be... man, no. No, I'm not. We're gonna wait. Next, no attacks, end turn. Because I need to be able to either pop the blood token or put a counter on Hangerback or whatever else is going on. I know they have the ram through, and they're probably going to shoot Baba with it. Now they also have a duel for dominance. So, yeah, I figured that was coming. Let's do... hang on 1 second. Let's do this. Let's do a colorless. Activate the Hangerback Walker's ability. Activate Lysaga. We'll sacrifice the Walker, and we'll actually sacrifice the... actually, cancel. 1 second. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do the blood token. We'll discard the lair, because it's not doing me any good right now. Just so I can drain them for the damage. And get the card. Now I'm going to activate her. Do this. Sacrifice the Brushstroke. Because I don't care at this point. That's going to give me 2 triggers here, plus that. I get 2 more of these. I get Lysaga doing her thing. And if he swings, he dies. So... I'm not overly concerned at the moment. I mean, you kill a Blood Artist, you're dead. Good game. Yeah, unless you have a mono green exile spell I'm unaware of, there's no way you're coming out of this. So. But this is what the deck's supposed to do. You're supposed to drain your opponent out using Baba and just juggling the ever-living crap out of your creatures. Klothys. Now that is a problem, because now they can actually exile, they have basically exile on a stick for anything I want to try to juggle out of my graveyard. But, that being said, this is not a god-awful hand. We'll go ahead and keep this. It's, okay, there's an Overgrowth too. Perfect. We'll let that enter tapped. Takes care of my missing black problem in terms of mana. So, probably going to go Voldaren Bloodcaster into Treacherous Blessing or Bastion, because I just drew that. If I draw a land, it's probably going to be Treacherous Blessing, just because then I can play Baba and feed it there. Or, okay, we didn't get there, so it's going to be Bastion this time. And I'm going to smack Domri, because I don't want them playing a creature and fighting stuff off the board with his fight ability. Unless they want to lose the Domri, in which case it's like, whatever. Now, if we don't draw a land, it is for sure Treacherous Blessing, because we need to dig into the mana. Alright, there's il-Kor. Alright, yay, we got the Nexus. It's like, do I just destroy il-Kor outright, just to stop him from smacking me with a bunch of big dumb stuff? That is the question. Probably. I think we just kill il-Kor and kill Domri, because I'm sick of dealing with him. That's the only thing that sucks about those god cards, is unless you exile it from the graveyard with the trigger on the stack, you just can't get rid of the dumb things. So we got their goodies. We're gonna go searching. We already got our Overgrown Tomb, so we're just gonna get a forest. this point, I think it's just going to be Baba. This way we can simply play the Treacherous Blessing and then feed it into the game and get rid of it so we don't have to lose any life to it. Uh-oh. That thing's got a built-in fight. Well, that sucks. Alright. Take action. I'll go get a blood token off of that at least. Well, that's rude. Alright. Damn it. Well, I guess let's do Ranger class, and let's just go ahead and do Treacherous Blessing, because we need to dig into some more mana. We got 1. It's better than 0. Pass the turn. So my vampire is probably going to get the axe. Or not. I'm kind of surprised they didn't take the Voldaren Bloodcaster out, but whatever. Alright, we're gonna block the Ravager Worm with 1/1. I'm okay with taking the 4. I'm not okay with taking 9. That's just not a good idea. We'll go ahead and pop a blood token, and we'll discard what? I really don't want to discard any creatures, because you can just destroy it. Anyway, really anything that's of value, but I guess Nissa? I really don't care about at this point. Ugh. Languish doesn't do us much good here. The Flesh Gorger is interesting, though. As is the Wormcoil engine. Which I think in this case, the Wormcoil is probably the best thing I can do. Only because it can just flat out block the Ravager Worm and live. And then gain all the life back that I'm going to use to get hard. And they're still not taking out the Voldaren Bloodcaster. That's so strange. Okay, well, I mean, it's got Death Touch, and you just gave me life, and you gave me a Death Toucher to boot. Well, my 2/2 is going under the bus. So. Whatevers. Alright, let's do it again. Black, because we've been short on black mana this whole time. Do I just do Shieldred? Because it's during their upkeep. They're out of cards, so they would start losing stuff. Yeah, screw it. It's Shieldred. We'll sit on those as blockers. They'll sack il-Kor, it'll go back in their deck. But at least this way it saved me at least 1 turn of pain. Because if they were to top deck some big creature and swing with il-Kor, I could have, 30 damage coming at me with nothing to stop it. Now that's a problem. Because they're going to be gaining life quicker than I can drain it with just that Bastion Remembrance. Alright, I get my Voldaren back. That's good. Ooh. Target enchant. Okay, well, this might get to go bye-bye anyways, so... Oh! Guess they decided they didn't want to deal with Shieldred eating their creatures every turn. It's the Prince of Kroog. Alright, so... I've seen a few different variation builds on this. Like, my build was all about getting the stuff out. I don't like this opening hand, though. My version was about getting little dippy creatures out and bulking them out to punch people in the face. They could also be playing... There's a variation where you just try to ramp out, and then you use the colorless activation ability on it to just smoke people and just copy artifact after artifact onto the board, especially things like Portal to Phyrexia and things like that. It's disgusting. let's put it that way. And I've died to it more than once. It's the Ornithopter. We need to make sure we're actually pushing lands here, so let's go ahead and cultivate. We'll get one of each, I think. Actually, yeah, it's fine. One of each is fine. Put the swamp into play. Not attacking, because that does no good. So, there's the Prince. Now the Ornithopter is actually an okay threat. We'll go ahead and toss down the Hive, because it's like whatever, and then we'll start on Baba too. No attacks. Steel Seraph, that's dangerous. I would like a removal spell, please. That's not what I was asking for. Alright, let's go ahead and do Bastion, and we'll also do Sanguine Brushstroke. We need to get as many Aristocrat effects going as we can. We'll go ahead and pass the turn. So now I can do Baba, I can do the Squirrel token. You know, there's different things I can do here. Like, Brushstroke is probably going to be the sacrifice, because that one measly blood token damage isn't going to really make a great deal of difference, especially if they're just sitting there gaining 7+ life a turn with the Steel Seraph. Yeah, I need a board wipe so bad right now. It's not even funny. I would say, what? Oh, they have 2 of them, so they can do both of them. Excuse me. Why wouldn't you do lifelink, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We're going to activate Baba. We're going to trash the Squirrel. No. The token, the Sanguine Brushstroke, and this. So that's Artifact, Enchantment, Creature. So we get a few triggers going on here. Oh, I got the Blood Token Sacrifice anyways, because it all died at once. I don't care. Alright, there's Crucible, so that is good for us. So that means we can start playing stuff out of our yard. There's a board wipe, but I don't know if I can do it for enough. I need to do it for 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm 1 short of being able to do it for the full amount. So let's do... Let's go Crucible of Worlds, Theron Bloodcaster. We'll sit on this because we have the mana in hand. We'll pass the turn. And I also have mana to bounce this back to my hand if something's going to die, which the Bloodcaster is probably going to bite it this turn. Because if they don't fight, I'm just going to throw it on the bus. Okay. Vigilance. Vigilance. Okay. Lifelink. Okay. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around like what they're doing, but I'm going to block the 7 in the air. We will activate Baba, smash the Bloodcaster, smash the Squirrel Sanctuary, and, well, do I want to do that or do I want to replay it? I think I want... I'm going to have to, unless, no. We'll smash a Forest. Yeah, we're going to have to do the Sanctuary because I don't have another artifact, and Crucible is not going to the graveyard right now. So we'll auto pay that so I can do whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, pass the damage. We're still alive. My turn. Oh, eaten alive, I love you, thank you. Alright, so we can exile a Steel Seraph, which is good. We're going to play this. Now, the only problem with doing that is I sacrificed a land, so now I still can't meet Hook for enough. But for 5, actually I can do it for 5 and get rid of everything, because I can exile the 7/6. And then it would reset the board. I think we're going to have to. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Steel Seraph. We'll sacrifice the Squirrel. Alright. And yeah, screw it. Let's do this for... Oh no, I don't have enough mana still. I can only do it for 4. Son of a biscuit. Okay. Well, let's do Gloom Shrieker. Let's get back the Squirrel Sanctuary. I'm gonna replay the Squirrel Sanctuary. That'll leave me Deadly Dispute up. We'll pass the turn. I got rid of one of his Steel Seraphs. We just had to survive through one more turn, and then the Meathook Massacre is gonna come online. Yeah, like whatever, I don't care. Again, I don't care. I would be hyper shocked if that 5/5 wasn't a lifelink, or even both of them. Okay. I was about to say, they've missed out on tons of life gain by not swinging with those as lifelinkers. Alright, we're gonna Deadly Dispute. I'm gonna sacrifice the Gloom Shrieker because it doesn't matter. It'll exile, it's gone, whatever. Resolve all that. And then we'll go ahead and do Baba. We'll do the Squirrel token, the Blood token, and the Sanctuary. Alright, there's a Terra Sunder too, which has got its uses. Dark. Now I question. I think I actually do, because this is an artifact and a land, but then I don't have... Oh, this is so hard. Yeah, I think I just gotta reset this board, right? Because this comes in as a 4/6. I can't survive this if I don't. Sadly. Let's put that as a green. Let's do... So I spent... If I tap that... I'm thinking on how to do this. If I do... this as a thing, and then it leaves me with... and another mana to do... this... to sacrifice to Baba first, that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4... Actually, I think I have enough to do that, so let's do this. Add that mana... add this mana, activate this, use her ability, sacrifice it. It covers all the bases then for the 3 permanent types. We get the full drain effect out of them, and then we meet Hook for 5. And that kills everything. Now, granted, they have 4 cards too, but I'm also getting a ton of Blood Artist triggers and the Meathook Massacre triggers. This might be lethal, and I'm just not realizing it. Because I took the time to think about how to do the Baba Lysaga, activation, we got him. Never overestimate the thought. Just take your time and think it through. Go Shintai of Life's Origin. I haven't seen him in a few days. Could be that people were on vacation because of the holiday. Problem with this is then you don't have any way of making sure this comes into play untapped on turn 2 to play the Ranger Towns. So that's just not a good idea. We'll keep this one. We have a 1-2, and if we draw a land, a 3. So let's go with this. Alright. Do this on green, because we have Ashaya available to us. Black and a green. We need to keep this mana flowing. So next turn we can either drop the Binding to blow something up, we can play Gixian Plateau, or we can play Baba. This can deal damage to my creatures, which I don't like. But it can't do enough to kill Baba right away, so let's get her up, get past the Summoning Sickness stage. They're not going to get 4 shrines online, so at most they can get 3, and that's if they play Go Shintai. So if they play a land, then they can shoot my Gutter Bones if they want. So what we're gonna do, because this is, they can pay 1 and discard a card. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do Binding of the Old Gods. We're gonna get rid of the Sanctum. I ain't dealing with that. Because eventually they'll get up high enough where they can start, shooting my stuff, and I don't like that. Alright, and then I'm gonna go see, I don't want to discard any of this, but let's do Bone Shards. We'll discard a card, we'll get rid of the Go Shintai, and I'll discard the we'll discard the Gixian Puppeteer. I thought about doing the Marionette Master. Ashaya was never on the table for that, though. And we'll go ahead and swing, because I'm not going to sacrifice the heart or a land right now. So if we draw a land, it's Marionette Master. If we don't, it'll be Ashaya this turn. We'll see what happens there. Alright, they got a Cleansing Nova. That's fine. She can go back to zone. Well, not the type of land I want to get. We'll go get the Shock land out of the deck. It'll enter tapped. And play the Lair. And for now, I'll go ahead and play Ashaya. And the point of the Ashaya in the deck is then all of our creatures are land creatures, and if you have an artifact creature, it's an artifact land creature, so then Baba can really take off. So alright, they've Gaia's Blessing their stuff back into the deck. So let's go ahead and smash them for 7. I think we'll go ahead and put Baba back out just to make sure we can get her through another summoning sickness phase. Ugh. Tag action. They had the removal. Alright, so, okay, we drew a land. So what we're gonna do... let's see. Bloodcaster. And we'll go ahead and do the Marionette Master, and I'm gonna fabricate 3 servos onto the board rather than goof around with pumping her up. Because then I can either A, go wide, or B, start sacrificing servos and start pinging them in the face. In this case, they'll just take 3 straight. Alright, do I just do Baba, or are they gonna wipe my board again? I'm gonna put Baba out because this represents lethal. Because I can animate the lair as a land creature and sacrifice a blood token and kill them if they don't get rid of her right now. Wow. Okay. That's a thing they can do. Alright, we're gonna recast her. And we're actually gonna cast Treacherous Blessing. I want to see what I get off the top. Okay. I mean, it's things to feed into it. Again, they gotta have answers. Let's see here. The number of lands you can... You know... I'm gonna let her go to the graveyard. And that's a good reason why you let it go to the graveyard. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Let's do... Well, I got... Oh, duh. You have Nissa, you ding-dong. Okay. Let's see what this does, if anything. Let's see if I have an instant speed removal spell. We're gonna do black. Take action. Attack.
The swamps come to my aid.
Nope. Answers. Alright, that works too. So far we're proving quite resilient to removal. It's okay, so we got 5 color, God knows what. It could be 5 color good stuff, shrines, gates I've seen. This isn't an awful hand, actually. We'll do the Hive to kick it off. Drop Forest, done with the Transmogrant. There's just something fun about this deck that I like, because I'm playing like cards that I normally wouldn't even mess around with, like the Razorback Transmogrant. Those kind of things. It's like, I don't know. It's fun. I'm just glad that it's actually doing well, because I tried this deck, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I just could not get this thing to work. It was so frustrating. Let's go ahead and swing with the Transmogrant to start off with. And then we'll decide what we're doing next. They have something because the game's freezing up. I think I'm going to go with the Sanguine Brushstroke. Because they have an instant speed something or the other. I don't know if it's card draw or if it's removal. Oh, I can't do the Brushstroke. Alright, that's fine. Well... You know what? Screw it. We'll go ahead and put Baba out. Oh, they actually had a Disdainful Stroke. Well... That's fine. I'd rather she eat the counter than... some of my other stuff. Still don't have that second black, though, for the Sanguine, so let's try Nessa. Let's see if they throw a counter at that, too. No, it resolved. Okay. Alright, we're going to +1 on the Darksteel Citadel. Because they can't kill that. They can exile it, but they can't kill it. Chaos mana value, so this is okay, well we're still animating that land to its turn. You're still gonna take 6 to the face. So far our 3-power squadron is doing quite well for us. So let's see if we can wrap this up. Oh, waste will give me a double black. Let's go ahead and swing. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play with Sanguine Brushstroke. Let's see if they actually have more counter magic. Wow. I have never seen an Esika deck that plays this much counter magic. But that's kind of dicey if you can't get that stuff out. Okay, there's the Prismatic Bridge. I'm just going to tear some stupid thing. Like, I don't care. Go away. And what's fun there is they've just left themselves open to dying, because it's now Nexus becomes a creature, Factory becomes a creature. Swing for lethal. Man lands and turning lands into man wins the day. Gaia Soul of the Wild. All right. Last time I faced one of this, my butt hated to me. So let's see. This is iffy. I don't think I'm going to keep that hand. Alright, I like this one better because we have Ramp, we have Languish. There's a lot of good options here. So let's go ahead and start this off with a Swamp. So we can go Tenacious Underdog into Cultivate. There's a few choice options here. We can also do Bastion if they have a blocker. There's a variety of things we can mess with. That could be useful later. You know, let's go ahead and swing. We'll see if they block or not. Nope. Okay. Now let's cultivate time. And let's go get one of each. Oop, back up. Let's put the swamp down. Alright. So, okay, we got a Scythe Cat. Which is whatever. Yeah. Alright, drop this. I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I'll go ahead and drop the Bastion along, and I'll keep the Deadly Dispute up for blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and swing. And we'll pest her. Because they can get 2 more counters on that Scythe Cat, and I can still wipe the board and not care. Okay, and that's fine. Like again, I can still wipe the board and I don't care. They're not swinging. Okay. That's fine. I mean, your stuff's technically lands now anyways, so... Alright, so Ashaya would be a 5/5 on the Languish. I think I'm just gonna wipe and then... Actually, no. I'm gonna Bone Shard, sack the Tenacious Underdog. Get rid of her. And then get rid of all the other stuff. If Ashaya was one creature smaller, I would have just I would have just done the Languish and not cared. But let's go ahead. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, next turn I can drop Shieldred. I'm not gonna sack the treasure. I want to guarantee that Shieldred's coming down next turn. Because right now they're not gonna get anything out of that if they don't get a creature. And see, now I can play Shieldred, and that's gonna get sacrificed. So now the Song of Freyalise still doesn't do anything. That didn't matter. I drew the land anyways, so whatever. Shieldred, eat their stuff. Song doesn't do anything. Sorry. Not really, but... yeah, Praetors have that effect. Elas, il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim. I did not see a companion, so it is not the... I'll keep this. It's not the Lurrus version of the deck. I've messed with both. The Lurrus version I personally don't think is as strong. So we'll go Lair of the Hydra to kick this off. And then go from there. Nope. I'm sorry, I'm not paying 0 for my Hangerback Walker. Let's go ahead and do Cultivate, or Cultivate, Prosperous Innkeeper. I'm thinking of my next turn, which is going to probably be Cultivate. This could be Clerics, which I've not actually seen a Clerics build around Commander. Duress. They can get my Cultivate, my Fine Finality, my Bastion. I mean, they could hit a good chunk of my hand, that's for sure. Well, now that we know they're playing around with that kind of stuff, let's do Bastion. Gain a little life back. Pass. That gives us at least a chump blocker to work with. Now I'm starting to wonder, maybe it's just a life gain deck. I see why they took the Fine Finality, though. They didn't want me wiping out their stuff. I'm gonna take the over. I'm not gonna waste a chump on that just at the moment. Now, they could have some kill spells, or they could have more discard. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I can do Lone Speaker and the Cultivate, which is actually kind of nice. So let's go get one of each. I probably should have got 2 swamps now that I think about it. And let's go ahead and do this. And pass. Now normally I'm not a huge fan of 2-mana mana dorks, but I like him in this deck because he can actually well, I'm gonna block that. I have no qualms about blocking that. He can turn our lands into land creatures, unlike most mana dorks, and then I can sacrifice them to Baba to do dumb tricks. Now if I put that out, there's a good chance there's a Wrath effect in my future. Just trying to figure out what to do here. Excuse me. Ooh. I don't know where that came from. We're going to go ahead and do the hanger back. Because if they have removal, they're going to have to use a pair of removal to actually get rid of everything. Because it'll be a 3/3 for us, which can then block Elas, and if it dies, I get 3 more ones. So I'm not exactly too concerned. No attacks. Now, does this untap? No, it does not untap, and I can only do it on my turn. I just looked at it and go, oh, we can animate lands. It's fine, I get 3 1/1s. I'll gain 3 life, and you have 3 chances of smacking your stuff around. Alright, so we'll just jump. We don't need to take 6. I can get the Find Finality back if I want with Timeless. I can play Ashaya. I think I'm going to do Ashaya and Baba? No. Tap that for a green. Pay that. I need to have a black one. And then... oh, I only have 3 mana open, though. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. No attacks. Enter. So if they're packing, like, exile-type removal that hits non-land creatures, they can't hit a lot of my stuff. So, I don't have a protection spell for a shot, so it is what it is. Alright, thop thop. Under the bus you go. But they're burning a lot of removal, so at this point I think Baba's up to bat. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. I mean, got the mana dork. Let's try this too. Let's get some more pinging action going. Gotta try to start grinding on their life total a little bit. Now, depending on how this goes, Erebos could come down next turn. Cast your second stuff. Okay. Alright, so in this case, because I want artifact creatures alive, I'm gonna actually take this particular. Do I have another 1 mana spell? I was about to say. Alright, so let's do this. Let's play Erebos. And that's fine. And we will... We're actually going to do this. We're going to activate the Lone Speaker. I'm going to turn a forest into a thing. She's going to activate a land creature artifact. So that's -5 to their life total. 6, actually. Take action on a card. Wow, that was just miserable. Alright, next combat. Next to attackers, no attacks. We'll end the turn. So I have Erebos ready. If that Healer Chalk even sniffs in this direction, I'm going to kill it. Okay. I think... Do I? I can only kill one of those, which is the Hawk, so... It's not an infinite loop, so it's fine. It's a big whatever. Now I'm trying to question myself. Do I want to block that or not? No. My turn. Deathcut Blade. We awaken the woods. We can do it for 5, 6. Which gives me a bunch of land creatures to work with. Yeah? Or do I Timeless Witness right now? God, this is... The decision making here is kind of messing with me. I think I'm going to do Awaken the Woods for 6. Just to get a bunch of land creatures. It gains me the life, gives me sacrifice fodder to work with for Baba. And then I can, if I do a board sweep, there's going to be a bunch of death triggers going off. It's fine. Not enough for to kill me. Alright, so I'm going to block with the flyer. I'm gonna sacrifice it. So, creature, artifact, enchantment. So they don't gain the life. I'll take the action. Ooh, Meat Hook Massacre, I might use you. So, hold that thought. Because my original thought was to play a land, but then I have to survive a turn of dealing with the Find Finality dump tricks. Because I can do 2, let's see, I gotta think this through. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20. I can do 26 to them if I clear the board right this minute. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to activate Baba. We're going to do Creature Land and Enchantment. That gets me the full activation. I want to make sure they die right now. Alright. Meat Hook Massacre for... what is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm just gonna... Actually, let's do it for 10. Screw it. This should be lethal. They might screw with all the stack triggers. We'll see. And hey, I told you I was thinking. Only you were go business. Back for a quick recap. I really don't know what I would change in the deck because I really didn't draw a ton of the new cards I put in here. I got a few of them, like Awaken the Woods and, Terra Sunders and things like that, but I didn't get, like, liquid metal coatings and stuff like that to really test them out and find out what they could really do for us. Just things worked out really well for us with the way things were going, and I didn't need those things to actually make it work. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the deck. I did say in one of the games I thought I had Gix in this deck, and I apparently took him out at some point, and I don't remember when, but he'd be a good addition to the deck probably as just a way to gain some card advantage to go with the Baba, and you're going to regain the life you're paying anyways. And I hope you enjoyed the deck. Please stick around. Don't forget my contest. You can go ahead and enter it today as well. I'm going to pull the names on Sunday night, which is actually tomorrow night after this video posts. Just remember to put the words hashtag Mana Echoes in a comment on the video, and I'm going to scrape the video for that comment, and I'm going to see who gets to win a copy of Mana Echoes. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.